So here we are. And once again, I forgot to hit that go live button. You know, what are you going to do? Um, I think it might be a small one today. I don't know. This was very last minute. I imagine VA Dirt Fishing. Welcome in. I hope you're still there. Um, I thought I'd take my phone around and show you guys my tanks for a little bit anyway. We'll give that a bit. I hear my phone. I'm going to have to put it in a drawer because it's driving me nuts. I've got it queued up. So that way, I'm trying to figure out how to do it. So, and I was eating pistachios and drinking Pellegrino. And I was out in the garage. I was working on a video out there on a project. And next thing I know, I look up, it's 1 o'clock. And I'm, geez, and I was debating whether or not I wanted to stream or not today. I actually streamed last week, which is the first time since November 20th. So I thought, whoa, 2 in a row. That would be something. And here I am. Here I am looking at myself, talking to me right now. And anybody else that might just be lurking. So anyway, I put a video together. I got a Lowell's Fish Lab Make More Fish fry tray, an egg collector from Richard at Go With The Flow Aquatics. And I had those set up together. And I thought I wanted to do it a little different. How's Llama? Oh, how's there? Yeah, all right. Actually, there's a place called Llama in New Mexico, I think. So I got a fluval breeding box, and I wanted to join the two. Hey, Jesse, how are you? Yeah, I haven't even liked it yet. Thanks. Jeez, God, I always forget to like my own stream. So anyway, so I was joining those two, a little bit of Mickey Mouse DIY stuff. And good. Fantastic. Another beautiful day in the desert. It's, I think, 82. And the sun's shining, the breeze is blowing, the birds is chirping. It's a nice day here. It's finally starting to warm back up a little bit. It's like spring. It's just gorgeous spring days. And it's been chilly for us, At night, it gets down mid 40s. And it was, I think, 55 when I got up this morning. Desert. You know where Palm Springs, California is? I am just about a half an hour east of that in a little town called Palm Desert, California. About an hour and 15, something like that, west of the Arizona border. It's tempting. That Arizona border is tempting sometimes. No, it's nice here. It's nice. We're in a little gated neighborhood, so there's, I don't know, 150 houses, something like that in here, maybe. And it's pretty nice. It gets hotter than in the summertime. 115 days on end, not uncommon. Is normal to have cloudy water after ick. Ick treatment, yeah, maybe. That's a good question. Geez. Maybe. I would read the label and wait and then do the water change, whatever the label says. So at least the stuff's in there. Ick sucks. IckX seems to work. I don't know if IckX all by itself will make the water cloudy. It may cause 20 at. It may cause a bacterial die-off. Not sure if ick's not a bacteria. And if it causes a bacterial die-off, you're going to get cloudy water. And I'm guessing a couple water changes will take care of that. But follow the label. Always follow the label. I can't, I used to teach at a community college, taught horticulture. So plant stuff, landscape design, plant identification, nursery and greenhouse stuff, plant propagation. All right, there you go. VA. Is that BB bacterial bloom in an unbalanced tank? or yeah, bloom to unbalancing. Yeah, okay. So um, anyway, I also taught pesticides, pest control, and pest control involves pesticides and anything, fertilizers. Also, read the label. Always read the label. Do what it says. Excuse me. All of a sudden, I got I don't know. I was eating pistachios and did work. Yeah, it does the trick. I had Nick break out, forgot I had this stuff, and I was using all this other stuff. Nothing's working. And somebody goes, "You should use ICX." And I thought, God, I thought I had some. I looked up on my shelf. There it is. It's kind of tucked behind everything. PA Fish Preacher. Yeah. Well, cost of living, but beyond that, life's good, man. Vertical breathing, sunshine, and birds chirping. I think I already said that, but I will reiterate. Yeah, and so, it might take a couple water changes. I was getting cloudy water. I use Aquatic Foods, and I think their brand is Aquatic Foods and Blackworms. Hey, fish family, thank you for being here. And I use their algae wafers, and I've heard people say that the algae wafers killed their fish, and I can't imagine that. I've been using them for a couple of years now. Get the big, I don't know, it's like a 1 pound or 2 pound jug of this stuff. And I've noticed they'll cause my water to get really cloudy. Link for, I did pest control I had the California Qualified Applicators license for about that long too. Maybe even a little longer. I used to go to the meetings because I'd get the info and bring it back. I didn't actually do pest control work, but yeah. Just the license. Link for what? The wafers, the Aquatic Foods wafers. I was getting those on Amazon. It turned out, no, I take that back. I think I got some on Amazon, but I think they were cheaper on eBay. Just the algae wafers. It's a blue and white label. So, hey, Richard, how you doing? So anyway, yeah, I like them. But I was getting cloudy water occasionally from those. And I wouldn't be surprised, and I think Jesse agrees there, cloudy water from the ICX. Purigen, that should take care of it. Yeah, you might have to clean that pad a couple times. Purigen's the pads, right? And that's supposed to take stuff out of the water. You might have to clean the pads a couple times. And sometimes what I will do, I've got some extra, what's the brand? AquaClear hang-on filters. I know those are Jesse's favorites. And I'll just put a piece of floss in it. It's pad, two side. I got to cut them to fit. And, the blue side's a little finer than the white side. Hey, Christian, how you doing? Welcome in. And I'll stick those on the tank and run those. I noticed that my stream is getting weird. I just saw it spinning, and I can't see my what's it called, the repeater thingy, the satellite. It's no fun streaming with a questionable. I got to call Spectrum. That's who I got here, and see if they can come out, hardwire my computer in. Where I used to live in Orange County, I was hardwired in. My wife was on Wi-Fi, and she always had problems. And I do not like it. I would much rather be hardwired in. But anyway, yeah. So I would use the hang-on filter for to help clear the water back up. That works, and sometimes it just takes a couple weeks. I think, what was that? Oh, that was my phone. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got my phone. I was going to take you guys around the tanks, show you the tanks. And I don't know if that's something you guys want to see or not, but I was out in the garage working on, I was saying that earlier, working on the modifying the egg collection system I got going out there. And it's weird. Water was still dripping. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The granules. All right. Yeah. So maybe you just got to recharge those. take them out, rinse them out, do whatever it says on the package to recharge them, stick them back in. That's all I got, VA. Yeah, I'm not really sure. And I got to ask, is VA, is that Virginia? And is that why it's 20 degrees? Yeah. And, like I said, I've had I think they're bacterial bloom outbreaks. And it's taken a couple weeks for them to clear up a couple times. Running water, hey, welcome in. And yeah, it's taken me a couple times. I don't know. There's probably people in the chat that could much better answer. VA Dirt Fishing is asking cloudy water. He used ICX, and is that normal to get cloudy water after using ICX? My thought is yeah, because I think IC's a bacterial problem. And so ICX is probably antibacterial, if that's right. I really don't know. I'm guessing. Yeah, show them what? What am I showing? Oh, the tanks? Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll do that. Let me get my phone back going again. And I'll take you guys through my tanks. Yeah, that's normal. There you go. And Richard says that's normal, VA. And I believe Richard's got some time in this hobby. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do the tanks. I got to make sure my phone's. I think it's. Yeah, I just need to add it back to the stage. It got bounced because, I could hear it feedbacking through my phone, so I just stuck it in the drawer because I've got it queued up, ready to go. I made a video yesterday, and it's long, and it's my tub, and I'll show you guys that. And Christine, Sweet Acres Koi Farm, was asking for videos on that. And that's possible too. Yeah, light on. Yeah. Green water, that's actually, I had a green water outbreak, and everybody's going, that's healthy because fish feeding on that. Hey, TK, welcome in. And so I made this kind of like end-to-end video on my 100-gallon Rubbermaid livestock tub, Medaka rice fish. There's shrimp in it, and there's a couple plecosauruses in there. And I play back a long section of it. I start to play it back a little bit. No sound. I was using my wife's Rode, I think the Rode microphones. And it seemed to be, well, it seemed nothing. The battery on the microphone died. Learned something. The microphone is a standalone battery. And so it died. And I also learned that before you start a project, charge the microphone. And probably not a bad idea to charge the receiver as well. The receiver, hey, Glenn, it's been a while. Happy New Year. The receiver is sharing the battery in the phone, so it doesn't go dead as quickly as the microphone battery. So anyway, I'm either going to have to reshoot it or figure out how to do a voiceover. And I guess I could try that, learn something new. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll just wait and reshoot it. Hey, Beto. How are you, bud? So, yeah, anyway, Jesse said it earlier. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you would, please, or that thumbs up or whatever the hell we call it here on the tube. So like that, yeah. And so anyway, it's cool. That's been one of my fun ones. I've had that tub for a year and a half now, and running water. Weather here, Western Washington, has been unusually. Yeah, I was saying here we're about 82 today. We were 80 yesterday. It's gorgeous. It's spring. I mean, it's we're in the desert. Anything in it still happen. And then by midsummer it's 115 every day. And we've hit 123, 124 a couple times. Not this past summer. Summer before, we had some really just stupid hot days. Anyway, let me see if I can make that go, and I'll take you guys out there. Let me find it first. So, and then I'm going to have to switch the sound around. So it's going to get weird for a minute. So bear with me. There's my phone. Now I'm going to make my phone go all the way. And then I've got to get the camera going here. There I am. There's my keyboard. Okay. So let's see if it shows up on the, there it is. All right, so I'm going to turn it this way now. And okay, I don't know if I can make that bigger, but anyway. All right, so now I need to unmute. Well, you can probably still hear me right here. We'll start in here. This is in my office. All right, can you hear me? Still from my microphone on the desktop right there. This I've got two platies in here. I'm just gonna suck up and.
All right, let's do this. And let me mute the other microphone.
That'll work.
There we go. All right. So I got these. Now we're getting feedback, aren't we? From Jason, 5-Star Beta, on one of Jeff Pelham's auctions a while back. And Jeff, if you're listening, I didn't send you an invite because I wasn't sure based on your messenger yesterday. But if you're out there, come on in. So anyway, male and female, there was a little fry in here too, and it's gone. So anyway, and then here, this is my 20-gallon, it's just standard 20-gallon, and there's Sport right there. And I'm going to turn the speaker down here. Hang on. There. So I don't have to hear myself behind me. And I just topped this off yesterday, not fully. There's peppered Corys in here. I think there's 5. And there are also some Royal Farlowella whiptails in here. And often someday they make little Royal Farlowella whiptails in here. And there's also green jade shrimp in here. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Okay, I have no idea what's going on in the chat either, so. All right, so anyway, yeah, and so yesterday I reached in here and kind of gave all this Jungle Valley haircut at one end. I left some long at this end so Sport can get tangled up in it. So when he sleeps at night, he sleeps close to the surface. There's a fork in here because I put zucchini in here because the Royal Whiptails love zucchini. And what is that? That looked like a little, that looked like a little peppered Cory down in there. So maybe they're spawning in here. That'd be cool. Started with 5. Anyway, and I'm not seeing any of the whiptails right now. Yeah, I know, they're just making a liar out of me. But there should be, I think, 7 in here. And I drop a lot of leaf litter in this. And they feed on that. A lot of banana leaves. These are leftover leaves from the tree outside. Put those in there. I am not seeing any of the whiptails. They camouflage well. And they stick to stuff well. But anyway, let me take you out towards, there's one of the little Peliotis right there. And we'll go outside first. There's my tub. This is that 100-gallon Rubbermaid. And, oh, there's one of the plecos. I just saw it, right? It was in there. Once in a while, they will come up and feed upside down and graze on, the granular food that lands in here. It's loaded up with hornwort and guppy grass and some water lettuce. I think it's a dwarf water lettuce. And I put a couple, this big, it's under the water right now because I think I screwed something up yesterday when I was making that video. It's one of the melon swords. And there's a Talenti cup down there that it's planted in. So it shot these long runners out and it flowered several times. It was really cool. Wanted to collect the seeds if I could because there were buds that looked like they're collecting seeds. Oh, where did we go? Somehow I lost my feed here. No, we're back. Okay. All right. Oh, no, backstage. Damn it.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Talenti. It's the coffee chocolate chip, my favorite. Hey, Don. I just got booted out again, but it looks like I'm back. So let me just take this off, and we've still got the whole screen. So anyway, so to the tub, uh, and I've got a couple trays in there with plants in them down at the bottom. Go pardon the mess.
Oh, so anyway, I muted this mic. So here we'll go through the house. I'll show you guys this little tank real quick. This is a little 12-inch cube. There's a couple glow light tetras in here. There should be pygmy cories. They have never spawned. There's 6 or 8 of them in here. And red cherry shrimp and a bunch of plants. I like this tank. It was an Amazon special. Kind of pretty. Hide the light. No, that never works. Put your hand over it. That never works. So anyway, crypts and some ferns. And this was my first tank. This is where it all began. This 16-gallon water box. I got this, I think it's 2 years ago this month. So it's probably just right about 2 years old. Ordered it from Waterbox. They shipped it from Florida where they make them. And lots of plants. And I had this little bit of Christmas fern in here. I'm sorry, Christmas moss. It was just a little bit. It was full of that green hair algae, and I kept pulling out, pulling out, pulling out, and finally got rid of the green hair algae. Now this Christmas moss has taken over the tank. And I got some leaf problems. I think it might be potassium deficiency, not sure. Started with 21 neon tetras in here, a bunch of dwarf sage. That's how big that stuff gets and bigger. And I had a big cryptocorin in here, the Wentii, and took a bunch of them out, took about 30 of them out and left a couple, and they're starting to spread out again. It's like a crypt farm and some Java fern. But started with 2 years ago, 21 neon tetras, and I'm down to 5. They're slowly fading off. And there were 5 of the albino Aeneas cories. And there are 8 or 9 now, because I managed to collect a couple eggs a couple times. Here, let's go around, and this is the dish side. So my wife's not here, so anyway, yeah. And I've got a couple autosynclus in here, and also I think there's 3. There's one clown pleco right there making an appearance. Oh, and we're gone. And I'm not sure. There may be 3. Um, I don't think I've ever seen more than 2 at a time. I think I've seen 3 all at once. It's been a while. So I'm guessing there's still 3 in there. But the red cherry shrimp just abound. Look at that. In that Christmas moss. They look like little ornaments for Christmas. Cool, huh? All right, let's go out in the garage. We'll take you around out there. Okay. Gosh, probably shut lights off out here. But anyway, this is the first big offer up. Look, it's cloudy. So VA, there you go. And I just fed, and that's probably why. Neon orange swordtails. And a couple of them are doing with a black bed on them, like a tuxedo, I guess. Big female. She's probably the last of my originals. And there's a male in here somewhere. Get more females than males. So I'm trying to, I up the temperature. Hopefully that'll take care of that. So I've been told. And there's also green, emerald green cories. There's one back there, but they're kind of elusive. And there's a couple big plecosauruses in here and some autosynclus. Way too much ram's horns. And this stuff up top here, this is called Rickia water spangles. And it's almost as bad as duckweed. And lots of jungle val. And I have pulled leaves out of this tank that are 5 feet long. So periodically I'll do the thinning. And there's the jungle val right there, coming under that log from the backside. There's a couple Amazon swords. They've shot flower spikes up in here in the garage. And then this tank, False Julie Cories. I really like them. They were the first ones to ever spawn for me. I think they were the first. I think started with 5, got 9 now. Found 4 in another tank. So and they've never spawned since that I know of. And that's Carol. She's gorgeous. Look at her. My albino cubensis. And Bob. So Bob and Carol. And they've spawned. And I'll show you their offspring here. And female tuxedo guppies. And this guy. Not sure what kind of betta that is. And he's handsome and he's a big ham. And I don't have a name for him yet. And he's very cool. And some other tuxedos that they seem like they're kind of on the white side. So I thought I'd see if I could get these to make more and see what they come out, you know. And I got this tank here, and I don't know if we can see past the glare or not. There's a couple peacock gudgeons for sure. There were 5. I saw 2 this morning. There's this big rock pile back there behind all that hornwort. So I think they just hide in that. And there's sturbis. There are, I think, 9 sturbis in here. And I put the pipes in for the peacocks, and I don't know if they use them. I think the sturbis are in here more than they are. And snails, damn snails. And I put the hornwort, you know, just to, you know, it grows really fast, just to kind of give maybe a little sense of security for the sturbis. And then I sell the hell out of it too on my eBay store. Same thing with guppy grass. And then on the rack, this is my betta tank. And, you know, the tank's cool. The plants are great. A bunch of different cryptocoryne in here. I think that's a bulbitis, one of the African water ferns. And there was some controversy about this, but I'm sticking to my guns. This skinny leafed one is, oh God, now I can't even remember. Doesn't matter. So let's just move on. Forget all that. Forget that part. So anyway, and I got a couple of the black Schultzes. There's one up there. I had, God, I don't know, 12 through 2 different lots, and I'm down to 2. They just were dropping off. And now these 2 have been around for a few months. So hopefully those 2 will make it. And I will slowly add more. And I've got this whole tank full of these fancies that I'm just going to put the whole lot on eBay and get rid of them all. I want to clear this tank. And I'll just sell the whole lot of, I don't know, there's probably 30 or more in there. Just get rid of them. And then these are Bob and Carol's offspring. These came out as like regular species crebensis, males and females, brothers and sisters. In this rock pile, a couple of plecosauruses in there. And I think there's also a couple Otocinclus in here, right there. There's one on the rock next to his buddy, Plecosaurus. Right. And then down low, this is a tank full of yellow golden-back Neocaridina. And then orange Neocaridina, the orange sunkissed. And there's only a few in here. They're starting to go again. This tank just about completely got wiped. I don't know why. And then this one, they're hiding or not. There's a bunch of Pandacories in here, a couple Plecosauruses, and snails. And this one, there's spawning mops in here, and there's a powerhead there. And I can't remember if it's one of my streams or one of Jeff's streams. Foxy came on and suggested with the pandas a current and spawning mops. And I have gone from, I think, about 10 to probably pushing 20 now little Pandacories. And I'll see really tiny ones once in a while. And there should be, I don't know if you guys can see that one right behind the thermometer. That just went over the rock there. It's hard to shoot this way because I can't make that one bigger. And then this is, I think they're wild type mollies out of the Colorado River. I got these from Jorge, Mexicali Fish Keeper. And there are some Napoensis cories in here that I got, and they're always hiding, from Drew from Night Owl. And then some male tuxedos. And then a bunch of Mickey Mouse platies and orange Venezuelans from Drew at Night Owl. And that's them down there, and they're a little more gregarious. I don't know, maybe not a lot, but, and they're doing really well. Now let's go around the side here. And this tank's a mess, and it always is. And these are albino cories. These are the brothers and sisters of the ones on the other side that I just showed you. And so what are they, leucistic? I don't know if true albino or, I not a clue. But anyway, the spawn came out about 50-50. And so I got this big hang-on filter there right now, just trying to clean up some of the muck. I got to take this tank apart. That's all there is to it. Start over. And a little auto sinkless. I really like auto sinkless. They're cool little fishies. And then this tank. And I did a video today. I converted, this is the egg collector, and I had it tied to this fry tray. Uh, and I wanted to save the fry tray for just that, for a fry tray. And I got one of these fluval breeding boxes and connected it up to this. And I had to do a little bit of jerry rigging, but it works. It works. So now I've got this egg collector. And when I took this apart, there was a little bit of water still coming up in here, but the bottom was just so full of muck that there was no flow and no fish, no eggs could have ever gotten through. And there's a little piece of plant material stuck in there. It's on its way. So anyway, that's these. And then on this side, the last two, I've got this. This is another tank. I've gotten several from OfferUp. For those of you that don't know, it's like Facebook Marketplace. Everybody thinks they've got gold. Seriously overpriced. There are 4 white cloud mountain minnows in here that I've been waiting to spawn. They never have. They've been in here maybe pushing a year. They're happy. They're healthy. This is kind of like a farm tank, a lot of little potted crypts and some other stuff, and a big wad of Christmas moss and Sawasa tang. So anyway, maybe someday they'll spawn. Maybe I'll take them out. Curtis, Skull Aquatics said, get everything out of the tank. Just put an egg catch system in and they'll spawn. So we'll see. I'll work on that. And then my 75, let me back up. There we go. And there are Buenos Aires tetras in here. There's 5 of them and 4 black skirt tetras. And I didn't realize it, but everywhere else in the world, they call those black widow tetras. Interesting. And there's a few tuxedo guppies. And I got that idea from, I think it might have been Greg 3G, the live food that they produce, the guppies, produce, essentially a live food for the angelfish. And so I got Joe and Charlie, the angelfish. There's Joe. And Charlie's back there. I don't know if he's pouting or what, but anyway. And there's a bunch of bronze cories in here too. And this tank's weird. I've got a video on how I did all these big rocks in the back. They were big, heavy, really hard. And I saw cut all those rocks in half lengthwise. Circular saw and a carbide blade. And they're all stacked there. And up against a piece of styrofoam in the back and on a piece of styrofoam on the bottom. And then I just sort of scaped around it. And where are we? I put easily a dozen, and I don't remember what the L number is, clown plecos in here. And I saw one, I don't know, a month after I put them in, and it's got to be a year now. I've never seen any since. I can't imagine they all just went off and died in the back. Fish typically don't do that. They come forward and die so they can kind of gloat. But anyway, and then a homemade DIY egg collector here that I made before I got the other ones from Richard. And on a fluval breeding box, and this is the long fluval breeding box. I've had this one for quite a while. When I bought that short one, they were $19, 18 and change, and the long ones were 24. And then days later, the long ones are 18 and change, and the short ones are gone. And it's like everybody's going, "Oh, you should have bought a long one." Well, I already got it. And the short one fits over there, works well. So anyway, let's see, where did yep, he's gone. So anyway, yep, there they are, Joe and Charlie, my 2 angelfish. They hang out, they play together, they get along really well. I'm pretty sure Charlie's a male and Joe's a female, but what do I know? So maybe someday they'll spawn for me. All right, so I'm going to head back in the house. I'm just going to mute the camera here. Yeah. But before I do, I want to grab another Pellegrino. And I don't know why that tank got so cloudy so fast, but it did. So VA, it happens. And I've got a hang-on filter there. that needs a serious cleaning before it overflows. It's happened before. I used to keep the sponges in it, those Aquaflow, whatever that, the Aquaclear, that's a 50. Put the sponge in it, and it, you know, when the sponge gets impacted, it would float up, and it would. I came out here one night or one day, and there was water all over the floor, and the tank's about half full. It went all the way down to as far as the pickup tubes. Anyway, I'll see you inside. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. I just came in. I'm seeing spinning. Um, Chat disconnected. Yeah. Wow. Um, Enter studio. Enter studio. Add to stage.
Remove. Wow. Um, all right. I think I'm back. Let me kill my phone here. It's sketchy too. I see in the chat it says chat disconnected, unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. Wow. So I don't know if you guys are still there, and if you're not, I wouldn't blame you a bit. Well, so hey, June, welcome in. GIPG. Wait, Roxanne, you're here too. So anyway, yeah. Now, Roxanne, are you going live in a half an hour or so? I want to make sure. I think I was stepping on your toes last week, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on. I've got lousy internet connection here, and it's, I guess, streaming is what does it. I don't know. So I need to. I said that I need to get a hold of Spectrum, see if they can help me work this mess out. Yeah. So anyway, let me catch back up on the chat, I guess, best I can. Yeah, I put tannins. I put tones, the alder tones, and also Indian almond leaves, and gotten get the brown water, and then it eventually clears back up. But yeah, I get it with the clear water instead of tannins. They're supposed to help reduce the pH. I have never noticed that. I stick loads of leaf litter in the tank behind me here, and I have never noticed the change in the pH. It's always right around 7.4, 7.5. Always, always, always. And so I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, I don't know how much of the little tank tour came through. Have to start getting streamed together. We'll catch rest on replay. Roxanne, what time are you going? because I don't want to be stepping on your toes again. I know I did that last week. At least I think I did by about a half an hour, so I'm not sure. Hi, Melvin. How are you? Yeah, likewise. You know, one thing, June. I was on Wave Makers last week with last Sunday, and I think it was Curtis talking about use a little the box filters, the regular corner box filters, and get the Fluval makes them, the little peat pellets. Put those in there and let that run. It'll probably turn your water brown, maybe not, but that should reduce the pH. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that with some tetras. See if I can get some tetras to spawn. I don't know. Maybe the best thing to do would be get distilled water and then do that. I know Keeping Fish Simple uses just loose peat moss. He puts that down in a tank, and it always floats around forever. And I would get it wet myself first and then put it in. It should settle right out. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Running Water. I wasn't sure if you guys saw. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I've got I bought 3 of those little box filters for cheap, probably on Amazon, and they're still sitting up on a shelf. So I had to, put one to use. Yeah, I think that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So anyway, so let's see. Yeah, thanks. They need work. It's probably about time to do I was going to do water changes today, and I did that retrofit on the egg collecting stuff instead. And I'm glad to hear it. Thanks. I was not sure. My phone probably took over with the satellite because the Wi-Fi in here. I walked back in here and it's spinning, and that's never a good sign. And I was looking at the satellite thing. I got one of those Eros. I think it's Eros. And it wasn't red. It's been red before, and that's never a good thing. But I guess StreamYard died here, it said, and had to reboot. So, but fortunately, you're all still here, and I appreciate it. Yeah, so like that. Yeah, okay, doing the small. Last week it took me 2 days to do water changes. I had gone like 3 weeks. I had this bout of vertigo that it took me about 2 weeks just to get past to where I could even be a little coherent. And so when I finally got around to doing water changes, I did the one side of the garage on the shelves, all that in one day. And I think that was on a Saturday. And then the Monday I finished it up. So it's probably a week and a half now. We get a lot of evaporation here, especially when it's hot. I keep the heater on in the garage right now because it's cold at night. And so trying to keep the temperature a little more, stable in there. I don't know, maybe I've heard pros and cons about that I should let. I remember you said you're moving, Melvin. Yeah. Trying to, let it get cold at night and heat back up in the daytime because that's kind of what nature does. So I don't know. So eventually I'll turn the AC on out there. Things will start turning around. No heat or no AC in the garage during the summertime. It'd get 140 in there. It just gets really stupid hot in there. So anyway, so that's kind of how that goes. I've got heaters in a couple tanks, trying to encourage on those swordtails, trying to encourage more males. From what I understand, if you keep the temperature around 76 in the tanks, you'll get more of a mix of males and females with swordtails. And that might be true of mollies also. I really don't know. But I get more females running around 74 degrees. So I've tried to keep that up. I only do 2 tanks a day. Yeah, that's, boy, I get that, But if I do that, it seems like they'll never get done. So I try and get them all done in either one long day or over a couple days and just be done with it. And then probably 8 or 10 days later, maybe even a little longer sometimes, I'll do it again. I'm not really, I don't know, I just get lazy. The tanks in here, tank behind me here, that hang-on filter, got that on one end, kind of helps create a flow. And that, the filters floss in there, just, it gets really impacted really quick. A couple years ago. Wow. Yeah, bad. Wow. Somebody sent me a video on dealing with vertigo. Apparently there's a couple crystals on either side in the eustachian tubes, and they get dislodged, and that's what causes it. And so apparently there's some sort of a lay down treatment, head over a pillow. So pillow under your shoulders, head goes back, and you got to tilt one side into the other. And that, thanks, you too, man. Yeah, I would. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, that may be the cause of the hearing loss too. That those little crystals going sideways. But anyway, oh my God, it was awful. I've never experienced anything quite like that. I've had minor bouts. First time really was getting off of Space Mountain at Disneyland. I will never do that again. And then little minor bouts. Some of the, like the roller coaster kind of rides sort of trigger it. I've laid down in bed and I think my head went over the pillow a little much. That kind of triggered it. But the Wednesday before Christmas, I went in for a CAT scan. And in the ears, yeah. And so I'm laying on the CAT scan table and they put something under my legs. The legs are higher than head. And go and do the CAT scan. And the guy goes, okay, you can get up. So I threw my legs off this prop and stood up, and all of a sudden, and I stood up and walked for the door, and it's just spinning. And I don't know, 10, 15 feet all the way across the room into the door. And oh my God, so I sat, he kind of dragged me back to the table, sat me down there for, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. And he needed his CAT scan back. So he walks me out to this little room. There's chairs, and I went into the bathroom. There's a bathroom right there, water on the face and cotton mouth. Oh my God. And next thing I know, I'm hugging the toilet. I managed to get out to my truck after that. And about 45 minutes later, I'm just sitting there hoping I can come to drive home. I called my wife. I need a ride. It's like, geez, what a mess. I don't ever want to experience that again. So I hope I never do. I hope it's not one of those things. Once you get it, it becomes more prevalent. And I hope that's not the case, because I don't ever want to do that again. So anyway, enough of that. Yeah, exactly. And I quit drinking almost 30 years ago, so I don't need that one anymore. This is my favorite. Pellegrino or coffee? Barbara, gosh, it's been a while. How you been? Welcome in. It's nice to be back here, I guess. I was fighting it, it's like, oh, geez. I streamed last week. And I was saying the last time I streamed prior to that was November 20th, on Wednesday, November 20th, on my stream. And I don't remember when the last time I streamed with Jeff. And then I've been able to stream a couple times with Mike and Curtis on Wave Makers on Sunday nights. It's early enough. Jeff's invited me to stream a couple times with him. But by then it's 7:30 my time. I don't know how he can do it. It's 10:30 Eastern. So yeah, so it's like I just don't, because it's too late. And Kathy's home, and white coffee. I mean, with stuff in it like whitener, that kind of stuff. Black coffee, no sugar, just plain old coffee. Anyway, so yeah. So where was I? So yeah, and I think I streamed with Vibes and Curtis one night, and that was fun too. So I don't know, but I streamed here last week. I put it up and came on, and I'm hey, Cinnamon, welcome in. And I'm thinking, oh, this is weird, stream by myself, because Jeff couldn't do it. He was otherwise occupied or preoccupied, I guess. And so anyway, and I think I asked, MC came into the stream. I asked him if he wanted to, and he couldn't. He was otherwise preoccupied as well. So I did it by myself for about an hour and a half. So I know I can talk. I used to teach. I know I've said that before at a community college, and I always had a Saturday, and that was the Saturday that opened the semester, and that was my first class for the school year, for the school semester, and it was 5.5 hours long. It was one of 2 different classes, and my throat would be bleeding after 5.5 hours, but I was talking the whole time, so I know I'm capable of it. Ice cold soda sounds delicious. Yeah, I haven't had a soda in years either. In fact, the last soda I had was ginger ale, and I love ginger ale. And I have just been dying for a ginger beer. I don't know if Bundaberg, the Australian ginger beer, I love that stuff, but the sugar is through the roof. Now, I'm not averse to that because I do eat ice cream. But I'd have to buy the sugar or the soda, June. Ice cream. Yeah, still. But anyway, yeah. So I've been cutting back on a lot of. I still obviously carbs and I haven't had a soda and it's been longer than that for me, Beto. God, I could. Well, before I married Kathy, and that was 10 years, it'd be 11 years in June, the end of June. And a previous girlfriend at her house, she had ginger ale, and I had some. And she was a fanatic about checking her blood. So she goes, here, let me check yours. Pow. And it was about, half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour after the ginger ale. And my blood spiked, I go in annually for like a wellness check, blood work, physical kind of thing. I get chewed out annually because I got to lose some weight. That's all there's to it. And my blood work, the sugar's never off the charts. The HA1C, the hemoglobin A1C. That's like a 90-day count. It's always good. It's always within reason. White coffee, very lightly roasted beans, very nutty and crazy caffeine. Yeah, I guess the darker the roast, the less caffeine. You can order it from Wild Willie's in Everett, Washington. We've got family that lives in Everett. That's weird. Small world. Yeah, good stuff. Very cool. Are you tied to where did it go? Wild Willie's? Running water? Or you just happen to shop through them? Yeah, so numbers are good. Just my weight, I know I could lose 50 pounds. I could. I should. And if I stayed off all the carbs and all that other crap. And my doctor said, eat more, move less. No. Scratch that, reverse it. Eat less, move more. And it's like, I think that's bullshit. But it's probably true. And I have such a hard time. Yeah, what was that? I was a fan of, ginger ale. Yeah. But I don't know. So if you have ginger beer, it's way better than ginger ale. Oh man, that stuff's good. And the Bundaberg, I know there's other brands, and they come in little brown, short, squatty 12-ounce bottles. Comes from Australia. It's got a kangaroo on it. And what else? I don't remember if they're kind of a peel top. Flagstaff beer. There's a couple of them that same kind of bottle. Did I miss somebody? Jonathan, no kidding. Wow. Welcome in. Yeah, so it's really good. And it's really spicy, the ginger spicy hot. Yeah, just love the product. Very cool. Yeah. But anyway, Beto, you're not drinking that stuff. You said, yeah. They come in 4-packs. So I'd have to drink all 4. Not all at once, but I could drink one, probably 4 of them in a week and not do it again. That might just take care of my Bundaberg ginger beer fix for another 10 or 12 years. I can't remember the last time I had one. Yeah. Yeah, it is hard to lose weight. Yeah. Not just cooking all the time, eating all the time. I think that's part of what I do. I think I eat out of boredom. Park my ass on the couch on the TV, and um, and then I munch. It's like, and not all bad stuff, but pistachios, and not a lot, but still. And my wife buys these wheat flour crackers. So, again, not a lot, but still. And then, maybe once a week or so we'll go to breakfast, and once a week or so we'll get a dinner, like local Mexican restaurant. And once a week or so we'll get ice cream from a little ice cream place around the corner. Yeah, eat more, moves less. Yeah, no, wait, yeah. 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 I told last time I went, I didn't see the doctor. I saw his PA. And I told her, eat less, move. I think that's just bullshit. I don't think it's possible. And she just looked at me, shook her head. So what do I know? Yeah, my wife used to love potato chips. She has backed off. Good for her. I've never been a big fan, but I was a big fan of tortilla chips. Costco, those big ass bags of Mission tortilla chips. Yeah, bad idea. Bad idea. So we don't get those anymore. Pistachios. Right? These are good. They're shelled. Now I've heard people say the shelled ones are better. And the only reason I can think that is because you have to shell them, so it takes longer to eat any. Yeah. So some nuts better than others. I guess walnuts are good for you. Probably pecans. Cashews, supposedly not so much. I loved cashews. I haven't eaten any since I learned that. I started, this guy, what's his name? Stephen Gundry. He does, shelled by, absolutely. They're just easier. It's about weight loss and blood control, blah, blah, blah. No, I won't eat lengua. No organ meat ever. NOME, NOME. I started that. It's going national. But anyway, yeah. So you see his commercials on the tube all the time. And, he talks about nuts. Peanuts, not a nut. It's a legume. Legumes, not good for you. And I guess all that stuff, it's about something called lectins that are really hard on the digestive system. Yeah, they do. Yep. And I like roasted almonds. We buy, and he says not almonds because of the skin, high in lectins, but we buy the slivered almonds, so they're blanched, the skins are gone, and they're slivered, whatever. And we'll throw a couple handfuls in a skillet and dry roast them on the stove, and throw them in one of those glass jars with the snap lid, the wire snap lid, and put those on salads. I'll put them in granola. Also, granola, probably not good because of what's in it most of the time. So anyway, yeah. Hey, Gil, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Are you driving today? So anyway, yeah. I saw, what was it, your Facebook post about you got a big slab poured and still stuff to go? I got to catch up with you, mate. Ron, I sometimes make my own tortilla chips. Yeah, regular tortillas in the air fryer. That's probably a good way to do it. Yeah, no grease. And, for grease, I make my own salad dressing. I use avocado oil and Costco avocado oil, Costco balsamic vinegar. Crush up a couple cloves of garlic, and I put oregano and sea salt. No, the pink Himalayan salt, and I guess sea salt's actually better. There's minerals in that, and the pink Himalayan salt and some other black peppercorns and some other dried onions, the bits of dried onions, the shelf file, and I put a bunch of that kind of stuff in a coffee grinder. Mix up, grind all that down, and then into absolutely, and and then put all that hay whip into a 32 ounce. I think it's a 32 ounce mason jar. And so I think it's 600 mLs of, because those are the marks I use, 2/3, 1/3. 2/3 oil, 1/3 balsamic, and then all the other stuff, the garlic, and a couple big dollops of Dijon mustard. And that acts as kind of an emulsifier. And then break out the power, the outboard motor and the whip, and blend it up till it's almost creamy. And that's my salad dressing. And it's really good. Oh, and I'll put some red pepper flakes in there too. I had a whole bunch of red chilies one year, a couple different kinds, serranos and jalapenos, dried them, roasted them, and I'm still using some. And I'll run those into the coffee grinder also. So when you open the coffee grinder, you got to have a particle mask on because it'll just kill you. The dust that comes off that with all the chilies and all the other stuff. So yeah, let that settle for a while. Get a paintbrush, get it all out. That all goes into the mix, and then beat the hell out of it, and it makes a killer salad dressing. Cooking with Ron. Yeah. So yeah, we'll make salad dressing, dry roast almonds, 2 grinders, one for. Yeah, I used to grind my own coffee, and I just quit. And that was my coffee grinder. And now I got a new coffee grinder. I can't stand it because what I've learned is they vary in distance between the bottom of the container and the bottom of the blade. And the more distance there is, you got to run it longer, so you end up with really finer grinds. And it wasn't working for me. So you're gonna love this. I've got a Keurig. So I use a Keurig, the K-Cups, and I get the Amazon Solimo Dark Roast, and that's what I've been using now for years. It's just easier. Yeah, but coffee grinder for spices and herbs, and never go back to coffee unless you power wash the thing. So yeah, I've got they can last for a long time. And I made the mistake of dry roasting those in the oven. Forgot them. Oh my God, it was like tear gas went off in the house. And opened all the doors and windows when we still used to live in Orange County. All the doors and windows opened and just couldn't go back in for, I don't know, a couple hours. It was bad. Lived and learned. Now, best thing to do is on a barbecue, on a grill outside. Calamatas. Yeah, I am not a big fan of those. We just get the big jars of the pitted pimento green olives at Costco. I really, I think I much prefer those. Those are personally. And what was it? A couple weeks ago, the in-laws came out from Orange County, and they brought all the salad fixings, and they brought this thing of black olives. And I used to love those. You stick them on all your fingers when you're a kid, and they're still in the fridge. I do not like those much anymore. They're just not my favorite. We'll use them up. We'll throw them on salads, just kind of, they'll get lost with everything else. And then, yeah, they are. Did you know, June, you can spray olive trees with, I think you can use B1, the same, or vitamin B, the same B that they use for plant fertilizer. And it acts as a growth hormone. And if you catch it at the right time, it causes the flowers to drop. And the flowers are really little and insignificant. You don't get all the fruit. And you can also use, there's a couple of plant growth regulators that you used to be able to buy over the counter and mix them up in a sprayer and just douse the tree. You got to do it 2 or 3 times during the season while the olives are starting to flower, and it drops the flowers. They do that in areas where, they don't want olives to bloom. I know they were doing that in places, Scottsdale, Arizona, because a lot of influential people came from the East, moved to Scottsdale for their health, and all of a sudden olive trees everywhere and the allergies kick in. So they were doing that to knock down the flowers. So you don't get the flowers, you don't get the fruit. I went to Cal Poly Pomona, and there was a strip of olive trees down, I don't know, maybe 20, 25 foot wide path of just dirt, and it was covered with leaf litter and mulch, right? And olive trees down the whole thing. Pretty enough, big trees. They lived for hundreds of years. It's like a big shrub, and both sides, asphalt parking lot on one side, big sidewalk on the other side, and all of would get out there and they'd get trampled in and stain the concrete. Asphalt didn't show up as much, but stain the concrete, and just that rancid smell, that rancid oil smell. So yeah, the trees are gorgeous, especially when they're really old. They're absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, Caesar salad with it, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But they are gorgeous trees. Barbara, what are you saying? I forgot I can do this. I think the quality of black olives is, yeah, I agree. Not sure where they're coming from anymore. These were, well, not the store, but the growers. These came from Trader Joe's, so God knows where they came from. I feel like they're using poor quality. And yeah, they were, and yeah, they were bland. They're kind of squishy. All there. Everything you said. Everything you said. Bland and squishy, and just. So, well, I don't know. I hate throwing stuff away, especially if they're not rotten, growing, not a science experiment. So next time we do salads, I'll just chop them up and throw them in the salads, and at least throw them in mine. I don't know if my wife wants anything to do with them or not. Oh, man, that ain't Nader. That's a gill in his fish room. Hell, yes, it is. To lubricate my throat there. We use olives a lot. Yeah, we do too. Yeah, Costco. We shop at Costco, and they used to have a brand called was it Star Queen? And I think you get those at the groceries. And they were really top quality. They had real pimento inside of them. And then I think that was a way for Costco to cut costs. They went to Kirkland brand, and they've got pimento jelly, little pimento things. Baby doll, why do I got a feeling I know who you are? Welcome. It's been a while, I think. I'm not sure, but welcome in. So yeah. And also, we'll find bits of pit in these Kirkland brand olives too, and that sucks because they're hard, and they're not pitted as well. The quality just isn't there. Yeah, I love me a good pizza too. Yeah, and I know this is just everybody wants to run and throw up when I say this. Pepperoni and pineapple. I love that. Spicy pepperoni and the sweet from the pineapple, and that works for me. And then you put anything else on it you want, but those are my two favorites. I heard asking for pizza. Told him tomorrow. Yeah, we haven't had pizza in a while. There's a place, and we had it delivered once. Oh my God, my wife did. And by the time it was delivered to Instacart, it was like $100 pizza. You got to be really careful with that shit. But it was pepperoni and pineapple, and I think they do wood fired, and oh my God, it had this smoky flavor that almost made it worth that much money. So yeah, it's good. What was this? I wish I had a Trader Joe's. They're not my favorite. They're all right. They've got some stuff. I will not buy their produce in the packages. You don't know what's my wife bought some mushrooms. She couldn't find loose ones, so she bought some in a package, in a tray, cellophane, from Stater Brothers, local grocery, and they were kind of on the slimy side. You don't know what you're getting in a package. So anyway, what's this? They're kind of there with the sardine, yeah. Yeah. Ordered me some good pizza and nachos a few minutes ago. Well, I hope that arrives. Yeah, I hope you get it quick. Yeah, a lot of companies, and I was watching something on YouTube, and it was one of the pizza chains Pizza Hut. I don't remember who it was. They one day they just like fired all their delivery people, nationwide, and they went with the third party deliveries, Instacart or whatever. And I guess I don't blame them. I mean, especially I think it was all California, I should say, because of the minimum wage spikes here in California. A lot of people are, they're making more money, they're working less hours. A lot of people lost their jobs because a lot of those places just closed their doors. Yeah, it is outrageous. Yeah, yeah, I'm hungry now too. Damn it. In-N-Out sounds really good. I don't know how many of you got In-N-Out where you live. I know we do it here in California. I love their burgers. And they're got an In-N-Out cheeseburger with animal style, lettuce, pickles, tomatoes, slice of American cheese, and all the sauce. What do they call it? Spread on a bun. Is $4.40. And then fries were another $2.50 and a shake. So the whole thing was under $10. You can't do that anywhere else. I mean, I don't know what I haven't been to McDonald's in a very long time. But yeah, pork chops. My wife made pork chops a week ago, 5-6 days ago. There was one thick cut still in the fridge. Chopped it all up last night, put it in rice with broccoli, made kind of a bowl. It was really good. So yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, I agree, Jim. Yeah. Just the homeless. I love the way, Musk calls it the homeless industrial complex here in California. There's billions of dollars that have just gone missing. No idea where it went. Goes to make more homeless. I don't know. Probably shouldn't get started there. That's Christine's thing. I'll let her have all that. So anyway, where are we at? Wow, hour. So does anybody know? I'm going to look when Roxanne's stream starts. Because I don't want to step on her stuff too much. I learned something very good from her in one of our streams. I think I talked about it when I was showing you guys my tanks. Yeah, I don't know where it is. No, let's do it this way. There it is. Oh, that's old. Let's see. Pardon me while I just look. Notify me. Scheduled for. Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay, we're good. I can't remember if it was my stream or Jeff Pelham's stream. She came on and she was talking about. I think we were talking about panda quarries. Maybe David was there too, Elfish. Oh, okay. Hey, Brian, I didn't see it. I just went to her channel and didn't see it there. So I will be off right before she starts, bud. How you doing? How's married life treating you? So anyway, she was talking about with the pandas, flow and spawning mops. So I've got that 20-gallon tank I showed you guys in the garage, and I dropped some spawning mops in it, and I put a hang on. I think I had an Aqua Clear 50 on one end because I've got them in long waves. So it created kind of a flow, and it really cleaned the tank up too. And I started seeing a couple little bitty panda cories swimming around in there. Whoa! Good. Thanks. Thank you, Brian. And then David Elfish, I think it was maybe I don't think we were talking. I think he was talking about it in one of his one of his shorts or maybe one of his videos about taking the spawning mops out of the tank, and it might have been on one of our streams. I don't remember. Taking the spawning mops out of the tank, and be careful squeezing the water out, and put them in another tank, and leave them in the other tank 4 or 5 days, something like that, and then have another spawning mop in the tank with the pandas, and just keep swapping. And you should start seeing panda fry. And oh, my wife just got home. Start seeing panda fry in the tank where you're dropping the mops. Well, it turns out I did. It worked. But then I thought, you know, I'm just going to leave them in the 2 brain cells just did that. Just leave the mops in the tank where the adults are and just let them colony breed like that. And I have got way more than what I started with. And the couple that were in the other tank, I let them grow up a little bit, you know, and I think I think I put them in a fry tray. I think I just left them in that other tank and just kind of grew them up for maybe a month or so, and then just put them back in the other tank with their kin. And so that's what I do now. I don't know how many I've got, and I don't want to disturb them. I thought about moving them all. They're in a 20 standard, move them all into a 20 long. And I showed you guys that stir-by tank, and next to it, and that's a 20 long. And next to it, there's the tank with the white tuxedo guppies. So I'm gonna get them out of there, I think, and put the pandas next to the stir-bys up on the counter there. It probably may disrupt stuff for a while, but I'll get it as close to possible. Sponge filter in the corner, power head on the opposite corner in the front, you know, so, and then plants and spawning mops and maybe a couple rocks and some just sand on the bottom. So, and I use pool sand. There's a chain called Leslie Pools, and I buy my pool sand there, you know. You don't need to wash it. It's clean. You can't use pool filter sand if it's dirty because it ends up in the pool. So what's the point? So I use the regular pool filter sand, and it's clean, ready to go. And it's come down a lot. It's about $20 for a 50-pound bag. And I like that better than the builder sand because you got to wash that. And I seen, in fact, was it Jake? I saw do it without washing it. Just put it in and then just real carefully filled it up so you didn't get a lot of that in the water. So you can do that too. But, you know, we all go with our preferences. So that's mine, the pool filter sand. Wow. You're an animal. Go to the gym 4 to 6 times a week? Yeah. I got to get off my ass. I got a treadmill out there in the living room that I use a couple days, and then it's just, you know, the 2 brain cells lose interest, not consistent. And then, you know, I was thinking Tai Chi, maybe that's the, you know, something, anything, but I really got to do it. Start losing some weight. So like that. So anyway, I think maybe I will give it about, what are we, about 12 minutes to go before Roxanne starts. So maybe we'll start saying goodbye, and any last minute tidbits that come up in the chat, I can address or not. And then I'll say thank you all for, I should say thanks for being here, right? Yeah. And I got a video coming out next couple days on that retrofit with the egg collection system I did. And keep an eye out for that. Let me know what you think. A little bit of DIY, a little bit of jerry rigging. Seems to work so far. Until it doesn't, and then I'll figure out what I can do to make it better. So like that. You can let HOB clean your sand. Yeah, I do. I do. I'll put, I've got sponge filters in just about all the tanks. And I would put an HOB on a tank that seems like it's getting a little mucky. And I use a piece of the filter stuff. And it's 2-sided. It's blue on one side, finer mesh. And on the other side, it's just coarser white. And I put the blue on the side where it's going out. And I'll do that. And that will get enough current. That'll clean up a lot of the crud I'll do it maybe 2 or 3 times, clean all, clean the filter. What I also do is I will disconnect the intake first and then pull that out. So it doesn't, if I pull that out, it just dumps all that cruddy stuff that's settled at the bottom. And I'll pull the plug, and then I can pour all the dirty water out and just set it up and do it again and clean the filter pad. What were we saying, Whip? Filter sand. Yeah, I know. But like everything else, you know what the big cost is with filter sand? Fuel. It's a quarry product. So fuel costs have gone up. The delivery fuel cost, the mining fuel cost, all that stuff's gone up. Yeah. So I don't think it's just getting wise to the fish keepers. I think it's really just like the pallets of quarry and stone. Yeah. But a lot of it's fuel cost, And then Richard, what we say? Wait, TK, I'm doing a mop for minnows. Corey says leave it for weeks. So is that a mop just laying on the bottom and not floating? Because the mountain minnows, don't they like scatter? And then Richard, I sent you the tube for using the flutable box with the egg collector. Cool, thanks. I will look for it. Cheryl, whoa, welcome in, timing. Saying hello while sitting at a stoplight. Yeah, don't get, the whole hands-free thing. Don't get nailed on my account, but thanks for being here. Yeah. So anyway, what I did, I'll show you what I did, how I got the, the adapter bit going for right now for the flutable box and the Lowell's egg collector. So it works for now. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to pack it in. Tell y'all thanks for being here. Tell y'all thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your Thursday and great weekend coming up. Everybody be safe. Just, and here, this is contrary to what we were talking about earlier. Eat lots, drink little, and take care of yourselves. Love y'all. And cheers. There it is.